I want to start off with resetting how we think about marketing and content and lead generation for this year. The agents who are going to win this year are not going to be the loudest, not the pushiest, or ones running the most ads. They're going to be the ones that are building trust to scale. So today I wanted to talk about how buyer and seller behavior is changing, what content actually is converting right now, how social media is shifting, and how to create a simple weekly strategy that's going to bring you leads without leaving you overwhelmed. Everything today I'm teaching on is going to be based on what top agents are doing right now, what platforms like Instagram, Facebook, Google, and Zillow are prioritizing. By the way, if you were with me last year or if you weren't, just so you know how like the Google business thing is going, I posted it in our group. If you're not part of that group, that content ideas for All Stars, whatever I called it, let me know and I'll send you an invite and get you in there. I'm constantly sharing ideas, even when we're not doing meetings. But the Google business, mine got 1.9 million views overall. So, do you know your numbers on yours? Did it send you your like end of the year numbers?
I don't think so.
No?
Mhm.
You know what? You should be able to see it though, because it acts, the Google business acts like a profile, just like any other social media. You should be able to get on there and maybe scroll down just a pinch, and it should tell you what your like contribution numbers were and your views and stuff like that. Easy way to get to it if you're on your phone, anyone is go to like I go to Google Maps and it's linked to my business account. So I just click my face up there because I'm logged in, and then I go to my business profile, and then it will pop up. This is my business profile. It shows how many views I got like from August to January. And then you can click see more. And let's see more. Let me see.
It won't let me change it.
Oh, it won't let you change it.
When did they send you yours?
Because I did post it in the group. It says contribute all-time photo views, 1 million, almost 2 million. 42,000 of those were new. And it kind of shows you a graph going up. That's what it looks like. Let's see if I can zoom up on that more. But it looks like that. It gives you an overview of how your Google business is doing, how many views you've gotten, um, and how many views your contributions have gotten. So I got 1.9 million views. Why is that important? Why does that matter? Because our business is about letting people know that we exist, first of all. So we need that brand recognition, and that's what that does for you. Eventually, that will turn into it turns into trust that people already have in you before they even ask you, to be their agent. So, okay. Oh, that's pretty good. It was 610,000.
Mhm.
Woo! 683,000 views. Heck yeah. That's really good. She's been on it. Like everything I suggested for her to do, she did it. And so if you don't have that sorted, like check yours today, everyone, and see where you're at. And if you don't have those numbers, I always suggest going back and watching the Zoom I did before on the Google business. It's in the playlist that you get with your emails. It's like you scroll all the way to the bottom and it's there. You can rewatch that. So, because now it's kind of automatic. You don't have to, once you have it set up properly, it's not like you have to, you know, do anything else to it. The only thing that we do as like a maintenance is you kind of post on it like you would social media, but it's actually more fun because you're going places and you're basically just leaving reviews. You leave pictures and videos. Videos get high priority and a lot of points, and it'll push your business page to more eyeballs. So, and that's what we want, right? So, love that. It's a good way to start the year. And so, yeah, so we're going to also talk about what platforms like Instagram, Facebook, Zillow, what they're prioritizing and what actually builds confidence with consumers when the market is very noisy. So I know I don't feel like a lot of people talk about Google Business or things like that. And I love kind of honing in on those like lesser known ones. Another one I'd say would be LinkedIn because they're kind of newer to doing video on their platform. So they're obviously pushing that more. So anywhere that's like that or like anyone that's constantly putting out new features, you always want to use the new features because it's obvious gonna it wants to push any of that on their platform. So it's a very good thing to kind of keep in mind. Do not be overwhelmed. Do not overthink it, though. I was talking the other day in the meeting that we had Monday, and Brittany was asking me like, how much did you post before to when you went viral and everything? And it's gonna sound crazy, but it was 8 to 9 times a day. That was during COVID, so I had a lot more time to do that. Um, and I'm not saying that you need to do that, just some sort of consistency. I also talked about, I mean, what does consistency mean? Consistency is just like if you can say you're going to post every day, like one day a week, that's consistent. If you say you're going to post once a month, that's consistent. It's just something that people can rely on you to show up as. But one thing I will say about that, which don't get so caught up in like it has to be everything has to be perfect quality because I did kind of say that and that's kind of a broad, you know, because I was saying like I'd say probably quality over quantity. You don't want to just post just because people won't watch it, but also don't get so stuck on worried about like, it has to be perfect, that then you don't post or you don't post as much. It does not have to be perfect. Just post it. I think Brittany's doing a really good job showing us that just posting it works. She's like just coming on there and usually just talking about something. And I think it's amazing. And she's getting a lot of views on that. This will translate into business. So it's important. Another interesting thing that I had recently heard was so Justin Bieber, like everybody knows Justin Bieber, right? You know Justin Bieber? Okay, so did you realize that when he released his new album, he posted about it 93 times? He posted about one thing 93 different times. That seems insane to us if we were like, I'm gonna post 93 times about this house or something. Like we'd think, wow, that's overkill. But if you think about the fact that um, somebody as popular as him, like everybody already knows him, and he's posting like that, and he has a team, obviously he has a team probably doing that for him, which we can automate these things. And I've talked about that before. But it just shows you that the thing about the social media is that when you put out one video, it's not usually pushing it to everyone. It's going to push it to a group of people. And so if you post again, maybe it's about the same thing, it doesn't mean they're pushing it to the same people. It's probably going to push it to maybe some of the same people, but it's going to send it to like other eyeballs. So you are showing it to new people every time you post. And so when you think about it that way, it does start to make sense why posting 93 times isn't exactly a bad thing. Again, I'm not saying you got to post 93 times. I'm just saying it's something to like keep in mind. Like, okay, it is okay to post more than once about this topic or this thing. Like, it's okay. So in 2026, we want to think about how you want your business to feel this year. You can circle or write your own. Do you want your business to feel calm? Do you want it to feel consistent? Predictable? Do you want it to feel high income? Like, do you want it to feel luxury? Do you want it to feel flexible? Or are you wanting to build trust this year? One of those, I want you to think about it, like circle it or write it down, and then base what you post and how you present online based off of that. One of the smartest strategies coming into 2026 is going to be reverse psychology. People are very tired of being sold to. So I see it a lot too. They'll say, I would not buy a house in 2026 unless, and then they go into the things. So starting out like kind of with a negative, like it just does something with people when they watch it. It like, intrigues them more and they want to watch it. Also, instead of saying like hire me as your realtor, you would say, here's how to do this without me. So basically be like, here's how to buy a house without a realtor. And I've seen content like that. It's like even me, I stopped scrolling because I'm like, all right, what are they trying to say here? You know? So it's just kind of a few ideas for you guys, simple things. Gary Vee talks about this a lot. Content like, like I just said, how to sell your house without an agent, mistakes people make when pricing their home, what I would do if I were selling my own house. These are things that people are asking. And anything people are asking online is going to be phenomenal content. If you go to Answer the Public, I think that's answerthepublic.com. If you go there, it's showing like what people are like Googling and searching, and that's going to be use those and create content off of that. Why does this kind of thing work? Because confidence builds trust, and trust is going to convert into clients. And when they don't feel like you're selling to them, but that you're relating to them and actually trying to help them, then that builds trust. When you give information away for free, people assume you're experienced, you're confident, you're not desperate. You don't need, you're not like coming off as desperate, like I need you to, I'm the best realtor, go with me. Um, People just gravitate to that a lot more. And these are the agents that people end up hiring. So write 3 videos you could make that educate instead of sell. Think about this. So again, it could be the 3 we already talked about. How do you sell a house without an agent? You know, you don't even have to say that you are one. If they go to your page, they know that you are. But the other one might be mistakes people make when pricing their home. What I would do if I was selling my own house. So those are some good prompts to kind of work through for your own videos. But let's talk about what's actually working on social media right now for agents. The biggest trend we're seeing right now is real life. So day in the life kind of stuff. There was one I even saw that was really fun. I haven't tried it before, but I'm going to try it next time I do one. Is kind of taking, you can either go through your whole day as a realtor and what you do, starting off with waking up, getting your coffee, if you go to the gym, like everything, you go into the office, you're showing homes, like a complete day so they can see all that you do. And then it can be as simple as a video where it's pretty much just B-roll. You're not talking, you don't have to talk at all, but maybe you're going through a house and you're like, maybe it's labeled something like, show a house with me or something like that. And all you're doing is, or if maybe it's a day in the life of showing houses, and then all you're doing in the video is like it's close-ups of the light switches and you turning all of them on in every room and all of that. And that's the whole video. Those seem to do really well. And it can, if you have a thought of that, like another idea that's kind of along those lines, like use it. People like content that they haven't seen before, and it can be along the same lines, but that's what's trending right now. So you could also do things like, I mean, basically what we're seeing with the trends is it's simple, unpolished content, which is a good thing, right? Because it doesn't, like, again, it doesn't have to be perfect. You can use your cell phone, and it doesn't just start filming and then hit post. That's it. So it'd be turn lights on, walking through a neighborhood. And I've seen that too, or even just driving through it. So maybe it's just B-roll, which all B-roll is, if you don't know what that is just filming a thing, and it doesn't have to have any speaking. But you know, see those videos where they're just filming up the road, and like you're just driving, nothing's said, you're not looking at the camera. That's B-roll. It's a shot, maybe it's 10 to 15 seconds long, and then you can just put text on it, something like that. Um, but you can do that for like neighborhoods. And maybe you're driving through and showing different neighborhoods. You could do that. It could be different cuts of like maybe you have 5 seconds in like one neighborhood and you label it on your video. And the next clip, 5 seconds is the next neighborhood. And kind of like that. And so then they get a feel for like, oh, okay, I kind of like that neighborhood, or like that. Looks awful, you know. But it just like a lot of people are not doing that. And how else are they going to know, especially if they don't live in the area and maybe they're wanting to move um, without having to actually drive to all of these places. It's just a way to give them value and something that is actually useful to people. And we talked about doing a day in the life of a real estate agent. We could do coffee runs, lock boxes, putting a sign in the yard. These can be really simple things. I saw one where all he was doing was like sticking a sign in the yard and standing by it. I mean, we, again, don't overthink your content this year. These videos are not fancy, but they feel real and they feel down to earth, not staged. People don't want perfection and they're going to scroll right past it if it's some kind of generic video. Because I know, I think I talked about this, I think I talked about this Monday, but I've seen so much where it's like you can pay per year and monthly too, but I was kind of looking more into it. You can pay to have like an automation system post for you. But what they're using is like, generic clips and stuff. The problem is those clips look perfect and people can tell like it's not like authentic from you. And so I also, when I went to these pages that I knew that they were using this kind of content, they had 0 views, they had 0 likes. Just people are tired of seeing like stuff like that. So I don't think personally that they're a good investment. Um, because just because they'll post for you and it might show you like posting every day, but the content's not anything that a client wants to see. They want to see you. Really, we are the products. We're not really selling houses. First and foremost, we're selling ourselves, and we need to sell them on us. And we can't really do that if we're posting like generic stuff, right? So it's just my opinion. You do you. Um, so social media platforms are prioritizing watch time. So how long someone is staying to watch your video. Are they watching it all the way to the end? Are they watching it again? So these are things that it is going to rank you on to show it to more people. And it's also looking at authenticity, which is why you're going to see that anything where you're like speaking, which a lot of people don't like, that's fine. There's other ways to do it. But if you're just speaking to the camera, prioritizes that. And storytelling. Everybody loves a story. Everybody does. And so anytime you can kind of spin whatever you're wanting to say in a video into a story, people love it. And again, it's not going to be perfection. So this is a simple formula for a video, and this will eventually, once you start doing it, it'll come really naturally, and you won't have to think about it too much. I know that that's how I am because I've just been doing this so long. It kind of becomes second nature. But you're gonna, number one, start with a feeling. Start with a feeling. Because if you think about it, when you think of brands like Nike, McDonald's, they market off feeling and stories, right? They're not just like, go to the McDonald's, we're the best or something, you know? They're showing up as a feeling. Nike is, just do it, and think about that too. What is your slogan? When someone looks at you and looks at your page, what are they thinking? What is your slogan? Or what do they think your slogan is? But also the thing is that they should know what our slogan is because we've already expressed it. So you want to also, number two, show real life. Show your real life. They want to know that you're a real person. They're going to scroll right past I'm a real estate agent, like blah, 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 boring. Okay. They want to the realtor they're going to use they're going to feel connected with. So any way that you can do that, which I already said some pretty good suggestions, then that's who you're going to ultimately come to when they're ready to buy or sell. And number three would be end with value or curiosity. So think about that. And like maybe for the first few videos you do, you have to like literally write all the three of those down. Start with a feeling, show real life, end with value, or end with curiosity. Like making them, which is gonna make them want to follow you. And but yeah. So now as a worksheet, I would say circle the type of content you avoid you typically avoid, but you should be leaning into. So is that being on camera? Is that talking while walking? Is that showing behind the scenes stuff? Is that posting without makeup or staging? Or is that speaking directly to one person? Whatever that is, I would challenge you to kind of try to lean into it instead of being like, well, I can't do that. You can do it. It's a choice. Just kind of leaning into those things and also just posting your strengths, a lot of people are very successful at getting views and that you don't usually see them on camera, and that's okay. That works too. So selling the feeling, not the features. So good salespeople sell features. Great salespeople sell outcomes, right? And really great salespeople sell feelings. So instead of just showing a house, you should show walking the neighborhood, the coffee shops in the area, the parks, any amenities, the architecture. And these can also be like a lot. Last year, I did a lot of like more wide shots of things like that. I think this year I want to try to be more artsy with it, more artistic with it. And so maybe more close-up shots, or maybe you mix those up and it's some wide shots and some close-up shots. So I kind of want them to look a bit more cinematic-y this year. Cinematic-y. Anyway. Um, waterfalls, if there's waterfalls in the area or water features, lakes, anything like that. And basically the town, whatever the town's vibe is. People don't remember the square footage, but they will remember how you made them feel. So just keep that in mind. Your caption, it should sound like moving to Georgia, let me guide you through the process, and not three bed, two bath, great location, blah, 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 heard it all before. So keep that in mind too. We want to be set apart. Okay. You want to look different than what they usually see. Um, Describe the feeling you want buyers or sellers to associate with you. I kind of talked about this before with kind of your branding, like just do it, whatever your brand feeling is. So think about like maybe write this down. When people think of working with me, I want them to feel blank, whatever that is. When people think of working with me, I want them to feel taken care of, confident, happy. I want them to feel luxurious, maybe, whatever the vibe is you want to go for. Um, think about what that is. We need to know exactly what that is because that's going to set the tone for all of your social media and how you show up online. So, another thing I'm going to talk about is going live in 2026. Yes, it absolutely matters. And actually, in my opinion, doing this for since 2020, I personally almost think that it's more important than posting. Um, anytime I've gone live, because it's a space where it's like it's in real time, and people are coming in a room with you, and you're giving them information, hopefully, and they're able to have kind of a more relaxed conversation. It's not like a let's schedule a call. And sometimes people are like, ugh, a call, I gotta schedule a call, you know? So it's kind of just gives them a more relaxed place where they can feel more comfortable, like asking questions and talking about stuff. So I have found live streaming when I do it, to be really effective to get people to see you. I usually have 300 to 500 people in a room with me when I do go live. So if that gives you an idea, like, I mean, how important it is. We need to do so many touches per day and reach so many people per day. And you can do that various ways, whether you're meeting people in person, but like being online and going live, I mean, it's kind of one of the easier ways to have conversations with people, to be honest, and it doesn't cost anything. So I'm always going to recommend that. I know it's not the easiest for people. What I would recommend when you like, this is what I do, especially when I'm gearing it towards real estate. I, before I go live, I pull up the MLS. I want to see like what's happening in the market. I want to know that so I can talk about it. Or when they ask questions, I want to be able to either answer them or tell them, you know what, I'm going to find that out. And can I email you? And like, can you, whatever. Um, and I've done that before. I've gotten people that still follow me now because of that, still follow my content. So, uh, yeah, you can do that. Platforms, they push live video because it keeps people on their apps. It builds trust really fast and it shows your authority. So, yeah, I pull up the MLS. The other thing that I have pulled up is usually a a few news articles, especially if there's something new that has happened, or maybe a new law passed or something like that. I'll talk about it. And so it just gives you something to talk about until people start coming in the room. So you don't, one thing I'll say about live streaming is I wouldn't go in there and like be like, okay, I don't know what I'm going to talk about, but here I am. Like that's a lot harder. And you're gonna come off as a lot more confident when you're live streaming if you have an idea like, okay, I could talk about this, could talk about that. And you also want something to talk about if there is zero people in that room, because this is what's going to happen. So if you start live streaming and maybe when you're starting out, there's nobody in there and you're like just waiting for people to come in. How intriguing is that? How many people are gonna just keep scrolling? A lot of people. But if you go in there and there's zero people, I just hit the live button and I just start talking and you're gonna be kind of talking to yourself for a minute, but people are seeing your live stream. It's gonna start coming up on people's feeds. And based off what they see when they come to your page and you're live streaming is going to make them decide whether they're going to keep scrolling or I kind of want to hear what she's talking about. So that's why when I start, as soon as I hit that live button, I just say hi and I just pretend like people are there because people will start coming in. They will start flooding in. And that's why I get so many people in my room because I'm going in there with intention and I'm talking about something. So what the nice thing about that is that you're gonna be talking about to yourself for a while about whatever it is. Just say what's going on in the market out loud, whatever you saw in the news article out loud. and people will start coming in. You'll finally get a few questions. Well, what about this? Or what do you think about this? And then you're like, ah, great, finally, you know? Your whole point in being in the live is connecting with people. So then that gives you that opportunity to, have a connection and talk to them about like whatever their question is. And so it's pretty exciting when that happens, but I challenge you to try that this year. I think you'll be really surprised. Um, Going live doesn't mean you have to sell them anything. It can be like maybe you do it once a week, which is what I'm planning on doing this year. I plan on doing it once a week as like a weekly market check-in. And so I do recommend if you do know a day and a time that is one that you can consistently show up as and putting it in your bio, like live every Friday at whatever time. The social media like Instagram, TikTok, they love that. They love that consistency. Another good thing about that is that you can schedule live streams. So then you have that in your bio, and then you can also schedule it. And so then when you make videos, you can tag that live stream, and then people can save it. So then they'll be reminded to watch your live stream whenever maybe it's Fridays at to whatever it is. Also, if you need to know, like, well, I don't know what time to do that, um, I personally would say, look, if you can just do that and be disciplined, and it's like, well, I'm kind of all over the place, I don't have time, like, blah, 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 and you just have to do it whenever, I say that's fine. That's fine. People will still show up. Um, but if you can do it like consistently like that, and people can count on you like that, it just builds that trust a lot quicker. So you can do weekly market check-in. We talked about that. Walking a neighborhood. I've seen this a lot, actually. I'm intrigued by it. I follow a few pages like they do that in Covington. Um, like people that live there, and they're kind of all into the Vampire Diaries and stuff, and so they'll walk the whole square, and they'll even walk by the houses that they used for filming different shows and stuff like that, and people love that. I've also seen realtors in Florida that will do like a morning walk, and they're just walking down the street. And I know it's different because like I don't know. Like, I'd have to really kind of test it to see because I know Florida, it's like obviously that's a beautiful place. You're seeing palm trees and they're walking down the street. It's kind of nice, right? And then they're at the same time, they're talking about the market and they're talking about living there and things like that. Also, on that note, you can repurpose your live streams. You can save your live streams. And I think it still does it automatically, like in TikTok. I think it does it on Instagram, where you can save it and then you can repurpose that. So cut it up and like say like, oh, I remember I talked about this such a good thing at like whatever minutes in you were. You can clip that and then repost that as a whole new video. So it's not just like you're live streaming and I recommend at least for an hour. Um, but it gives you an hour's worth of content if you want to repurpose it. Um, you could also going live answer questions for them. Um, or you can say, here's what I'm seeing this week, just anything like that, that just will spark a conversation. It could even be maybe a little controversial as long as it stays within like, you know, properness. But people love that, and people will obviously comment if it's kind of a controversial topic or something. But I would say one live video a week if you can. It should be 1 hour long, and it will go fast. It does go fast. Um, and that's because like if you only go live for like a couple minutes, it doesn't give any of the platforms time to be like, oh, she's talking about something that people are starting to come in there. It's just not long enough for them to gather data enough to push you out to more people. So obviously, the longer you stay, the more they're going to push you out. 90-minute streams. are phenomenal. Like if you get to that 90-minute mark, they're really going to push you a lot harder. But that's a long time. So I would say for us, like especially as agents, like I would just do an hour. I think that's good enough. And if you want to go longer than that, cool. Um, but yeah, any shorter than an hour, the platform's not really going to push it. And then it's just a no pressure kind of live stream. And then, so pick your weekly live topics. So they could be market updates, neighborhood tours, buyer Q&A, seller tips, and open house walkthroughs. And with the buyer QA, you could, maybe you're thinking, yeah, I don't have any questions and answers. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Because just go to answer the public and use those and just reading those off. It will give other people ideas that then they will, like real people will want to ask you in your stream or in your video. I mean, that would work with either your video content or your live streaming. And it also works for like, static too, like if you're just doing photos. I'll still recommend until I let you know if it changes. The carousel photos, which don't know what a carousel is, all it is like if when you put more than one photo and people can kind of swipe it that way. Um, so if you have multiple news articles pulled up, maybe you have stats pulled up on the MLS, just literally just start talking. Don't wait till people are in the room with you. People will start asking questions and will see you as an authority that they will want to come back to. Um, People are very tired of being advertised to, and they want to know, what should I actually do? What mistakes should I actually avoid? And who can I trust? Because I feel like realtors get paid too much and da 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 da. We really do have to kind of show our value um, and stuff like that. In 2026, the winning agents are going to educate instead of pitching. They're going to show real life. They're going to build trust without asking for it. Like, you can trust me. I've sold 1 million, whatever. You know, it's they don't care. Um, be consistent, not perfect. And people don't remember what we say, but they will remember how we made them feel. So um, that's pretty much how I'm going to conclude this. I do have a worksheet. If you guys want it, to kind of work through, let me know. But one of them is, what part of your process are you showing? Are you showing pricing, preparation, offer strategy, client communication, problem solving, negotiations? I mean, these are all ideas you could use for anything, and whatever resonates with you is going to resonate with a viewer or potential client. So you can kind of think about that, write that down. What problem does this solve for the client? Is it fear? Is it confusion? Is it their hesitation? Is it bad advice maybe they've gotten from other agents or whatever? Is it overwhelm? Or is or does it solve timing for them? So that's something to think about, write it down. And what will they see on screen? So like I was talking about B-roll earlier, so it could be you working at a desk. Maybe you're just writing stuff down. You look like you're doing something really important. You could be taking notes, clips in your car. I talked about that. Putting a sign in a yard, and like you can do that. Like it does, without showing like a whole house. It can be a close up, So you could, I mean, if you don't have a listing, you could do it in front of your own house. You do it enough where it's kind of like maybe you're just seeing brick and you're seeing you put a sign up. It's, and you're pulling it right back out. It's just for video, but they can't recognize like the house and things like that. It's just to make them see that like, oh, look at her, he or she is successful. They know what they're doing. They're confident and they're putting a sign in the yard. It's like psychological too. Like, you know? Um, so yeah, and then you could do walking. Maybe it's just a clip of you walking. I love slow-mo clips of walking. I love it if you guys do like clips of you walking, like please send them to me. Like I would be so happy to see you guys posting like slow. It's like my favorite thing. I did it for me and Sierra. Did I do it for anyone else?
Julie, I think.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, if you come with us to content days as well, I can totally like do that for you and also show you how to do it. I believe in teaching how to fish and not just doing it for everyone, but I will help, and if you don't know how to like post, I also can help you with that. So just show up on the content days. Um, what will you say in plain language? What is your video going to say? You got to think about that. What's the goal of your video? And your trust statement. So this is how I help my clients blank. Like, what is it? This is how I help my clients buy. This is how I help my clients sell. This is how I help my clients feel less stressed, whatever it is. Think about that, write it down. Um, Follow for real market guidance. So soft call to action. So they're not like screaming, I'm Trish Sutherland. Maybe you did your whole cool video, and then at the end, and a lot of agents do this. They're at the end, they'll be like, I'm Trish Sutherland, I'm a real estate agent, and follow me for more or something. I don't know why I'm saying it like a Valley girl. So sorry, but instead of saying that, you could do softer call to actions. This is something I do a lot when I do promotional ads. I do a lot of soft call to actions because I don't want it to feel like somebody can watch it and be like, that's a call to action. They're not going to finish the rest of it. They're going to scroll away. But if it's a soft call to action, people like that, and then they will follow you or whatever it is. So the softer call to actions would be follow for real market guidance. DM me your situation and let's talk about, how to do whatever better. Save this for later, something like that. Or comment your biggest question, or comment something that you are curious about. Comment something that's maybe even you tell them a story. I'm sure we all have stories about real estate, and maybe we say our story, and then you can say, comment your what's a story that you have that when you've dealt with an agent, or what's your story when you bought your house, whatever it is. And then on your posting, your checklist would be, it usually needs to be vertical video that's in 9:16. You can change the format on your phone. A lot of people don't know that you can do that, but you can. Uh, you need a hook in the first 2 seconds because people's attention spans are like that. You want captions on screen because a lot of times maybe they're scrolling at work and they have to have the sound off. So we need to be thinking about these things. So you want text on the screen so they can still like know what your video was about while they're watching it. And a lot of people scroll at nighttime too, and maybe they have the sound down because they don't want to wake a baby or something like that. You don't want them to scroll past your video because you don't have text on screens. They have no idea what you're saying. So I would always suggest having like a closed captions on screen or text on screen. And then just have just a calm, confident delivery that comes across. Post even if it's not perfect, okay? If you've seen anybody else posting literally, you know what? Do you know how much Britney Spears like posts? And she really does not care. You know, if we can be a little bit more like that, like just just post. That's kind of the moral of the story. Um, like Taylor Swift, do you see that? How she came out with like a gazillion different albums. It's just kind of the same concept. Like just let's just get in front of people and post. And the whole point of that is to get clients. And I would love to hear like if you start streaming once a week, I would love to hear how that goes for you guys. I think you'll be really surprised by it. Every time I do, even when I haven't gone live for a long time, like I'm always surprised like how well it goes. So you kind of just got to get past that initial like hesitation you have with it and just like hit the button. Just hit the button and then it's going to give you that's a 1 hour live stream. It's going to give you content for the rest of the week, you know, because you can cut it up. I use CapCut, you can use whatever you're comfortable with and just repost through the week. So that's my recommendations going into 2026. I know that was a lot. Do you have any questions about what we talked about or anything you want me to talk more about?
I did see the other day though, that's been kind of playing on repeat in my head of like you have your New Year's resolutions, but a lot of people don't do them because you can't really give up,
Mm-hmm.
or a lot of people give up on them. But I had seen where someone said write down your goals for the year and then take your goals, like take one and break it down into like three smaller attainable goals.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you want to get even more meticulous with it, break it down for every quarter. This is what you need to do in order to reach that goal.
Yeah.
So I've been thinking about that a lot with business as well. And that's something that we could always.
Yeah. And even only looking at it in a quarterly sense and not just like, I've got to do this for the entire year kind of thing. Just like,
Right.
you know, maybe in the next month or the next 3 months, this is what I want to be doing. And then you do it once and you're like, yeah, like, you know, it gets easier after the first whatever it is, you know. And if you guys ever have questions or you know, or you're feeling overwhelmed, just let me know. I'm happy to help. That's what we're here for. And I think that's all I've got. So I guess I'll see you guys next time. Bye.